I was fucking around with a flashlight, entertaining myself.
Oh my God, that's how psychotics entertain themselves.
Exactly.
Welcome to Atlas Balked, a weekly variety show concerning the mundane, weird, and maybe even sometimes dramatic happenings of a few simple-minded guys who just happen to be in a storied fantasy baseball league. This podcast captures the thoughts and musings of Greg, Joe, Jack, and Tim. Download this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get the podcast content you listen to when you find yourself wondering about the reproductive lives of sharks. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and email. DM us or send us a quick note at atlasbalked@gmail.com. And listeners, I want to remind you this content is not for kids, and you may want to keep the volume down if there are the little ones near. This is episode 84 entitled Naughty by Nature. Good morning, Bacher Nation. We're so happy to have you with us. GK, you are recording live from one of our favorite towns, Port St. Lucie, Florida. How you doing this morning?
I'm great. Live from the Pizzle.
Ground zero for the league, the podcast.
The league,
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's almost like returning to Mecca, really, right?
Yeah, really. I was drawn here.
I'm curious, what's the monument look like?
The monument?
The monument to Jack and Tim and the boys.
It's a discarded case of beer on the side of the road.
So there's monuments everywhere, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm looking at Joe, and I'm trying to think of something funny to say. It's just not coming.
I think that's something funny to say to Joe. Chiefs.
It could be worse, guys. Trust me, it could be worse.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's so true.
Wait.
I mean, it's worse for me, but not nearly as bad as it is for you, Jack.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of hard to feel sorry for a guy who has a Super Bowl championship shirt from a year or two ago.
Yeah, this is true.
From his lifetime.
We're embracing it. Yes,
that's one more than I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Our hug on that championship shirt is getting tighter and tighter by each game because it doesn't look like we're going to be getting another one anytime soon.
So, J-Lo, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. My quarterback is not Nick Foles, so I'm happy.
Jacksonville's quarterback is not Nick Foles anymore either. So,
hey, he's available for the Eagles to go get.
This is true.
Swag, good morning. How are you?
What's happening? Doing well. Yeah, I wanted to do my Did You Know this week on animals, and for whatever reason, I ended up searching animals and sex. I don't know why, but so
because you're Jack.
Did you guys know that that squirrels die after they have sex?
No, that can't be right.
No, yeah. I mean, at least the one I fucked did anyway. No, seriously though. Thanks, folks. Don't forget your bartender. Drive home safe. No, but seriously, do you guys know that snakes?
How'd you get in the cage with it?
Yeah. Snake. I have a big yard, Joe. Snakes, lizards, and sharks.
Is that a euphemism?
All have two penises. Do you guys know that?
No.
Snakes, lizards, and sharks all have two. Yeah, and the lizards and snakes, they perform alternately. So like one at a time. They don't use them together. But the sharks actually perform together and form a channel for the shark semen to go through. So yeah, I didn't expect a whole lot of feedback on this one. I just thought it's something new that we could all learn together.
God, you are a sick person.
Well, it's just I'm just sharing information. It's just I'm just trying to educate the masses.
Can you put your browser history?
Did you know that before
on public display? No, obviously, no, I didn't. I never.
And no,
I'm busy trying to forget it right now.
I can tell you, in my whole life, I've never thought about sharks having sex. Not
Yeah.
Now try not to think of it.
And I think I did a report on sharks in like the 4th grade, but even then I wasn't worried about their sex.
Welcome to the final episode of Atlas Balked.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did expect a little speed bump. I didn't expect a crashing halt. My bad.
Wow. Okay, so we have stepped out just to start this show with a lot of awkward silences and weird grimaces. So
It's the Port St. Lucie effect.
That might be it.
Joe, whose pictures are behind your shoulder there? Who are those people back in those pictures?
They're offended, whoever they are.
Well, there's a picture of my kids and a picture of me a long time ago with my wife.
I'd like to see that picture close up.
I'll go get it for you.
Okay, yeah, and later. Yeah.
Which one? The one of the kids?
Oh, yeah, all of them, yeah.
God, I'm sorry. I killed the show to the point where we're showing Joe's family photo album. My bad.
no, speaking of Jaws, you talked about Jaws in the 4th grade. Well, Joe looks suspiciously like one of the characters in the movie Jaws in that picture that is over his right shoulder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why your wife always called me Rich.
That's right.
See? There you go. It all comes full circle. Shark penises, back to Richard Dreyfuss.
Actually, I'm disappointed because I thought maybe he looked like Roy Scheider. That would have been much cooler.
Probably gotten more girls when I was younger with that face.
I take it back. I don't want to see that picture.
I wasn't going to show it to you for real.
Things we can find in Joe's office. This is gripping audio. And for the 5 listeners that are left, thank you for hanging in there. We're doing our best to get rid of you.
It might get worse.
Well, fuck. Knowing some of the emails I have, yeah.
So who's the Marlon Perkins of this podcast? Speaking of Wild Kingdom,
It would have to be Jack.
Now, yeah, just for my obvious intense knowledge.
Well, there was Marlon Perkins who sat wherever he sat and always said, "Oh, look, Jim is about to be swallowed by that lion." Poor Jim was the guy that was out there doing all this stuff, and Marlon Perkins got all the attention.
Well, Mutual of Omaha knew that he was the moneymaker.
And they wouldn't insure him to go out in the field, though. That was funny.
That's right. Jim was expendable.
He was like a security officer in Star Trek.
The red shirt.
The red shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a red.
Okay.
Oh, coincidentally, my shirt is red. I guess that means I won't make it to the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Tim, take control of this mess. Come on.
Come on, Kirk.
I'm waiting for Tim to assert himself.
There is no controlling this mess.
I can tell there's an audience for Greg now. All right, so we got all right. Then. So let's move
Do you
into
need a
something
safe word?
So she's on another pair of headphones over there. So right. We thought it was Pseudo Scout was tough, right? But yeah. Now we've got GK, the once like ultimate bachelor who is now just quietly descending into Pseudo Scout territory.
Happily.
I've been there for 20 plus years, dude. Let me tell you where the couch is. So we did. I think we had a lot of fun when several of you had come up with things that could be improved. I think we talked about daylight savings, chocolate milk cartons, faucets, right? Something like that. Universal faucet adapters or something like that. So I think that.
I think they were all great ideas.
This episode is. Yes, I think they were. So, but I really learned a lot, and I was wondering if the 3 of you guys had come with another idea that could be made better better by Bach?
I have one. Concerts. I can revolutionize the concert going experience for people going to concerts.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with Guar.
But it could.
Okay, so there's one. So we've got concerts, making concerts better. That's already got my interest. I don't know what J-Lo and Swag have.
Teaching people to walk properly.
Teaching people to walk properly. Okay.
See, that's such a Joe thing. Like,
right. Does that mean like not on your lawn or?
I can absolutely see Joe like getting enraged by somebody walking in his mind improperly.
Look at that motherfucker.
I knew I shouldn't have left the house.
Okay, so we have making concerts better, teaching people how to walk properly.
Yep.
Swag.
That's the concerts one had me, but for some reason I'm still more interested in Joe's again this week. I would like to make zoos better. Zoos.
Oh
God. Okay.
Did you like go into like a like? I think
I knew this was coming.
I think Jack took like
completely unrelated.
Accidentally took like 14 Xanax and had like the Animal Planet on, and he's been lying motionless but awake in his bedroom with Animal Planet on since Wednesday evening.
He's going to start with the squirrel exhibit, I'm sure.
I have been accused in the past of being the Christian coalition of this podcast, that I would shut down commentary, that I would limit what would get out to the world, what would get out to Bacher Nation. GK famously last year,
the FCC, if you will,
went after the Catholic Church and finally broke through, and then we had to, do a bunch of priest jokes, and so I've been lowering the
because it's been hands off the Catholic Church for a long time.
It's been loosening the reins. You know what I mean? Just letting you all run free, and now I realize that.
What a mistake that was.
Oh my God. Like, he went from clothed women sitting on cakes to squirrel fucking in like, in a 2-week time period. I agree, Greg. That browser history is probably, what, if we had a Patreon account, what we could do is we could say that we would post Swag's search history, right? And only our Patreon users would be able to see that.
Oh, that serious them up real quick.
Yeah, that
drained
Would the FBI be involved at all?
that drained all the mirth right out of the room. That's for sure.
Yeah, first of all, I know how to delete it after each time I sit down on my computer. So I have children. I can't let them know.
Yeah.
That would never get out.
So I you know what? So I love the idea about concerts. I tend to. Are you talking about intimate shows at clubs? Or are you talking about big time, mega concerts?
Everything, all the above.
All the above.
I think he should tell us. That sounds interesting.
It does. And there is the zoo angle here, so that is interesting to me. But teaching people how to walk properly, I think we could agree that if people could walk properly, this would be a better world, right?
More important, it's a bigger right. It would cover a bigger portion of the world in fixing things. So absolutely, I agree with that.
Well, it's a very simple concept. I noticed, and I don't know if this is an Orlando thing or if you guys can help me out if this is more widespread, but I've noticed over the last. Go ahead.
I was going to say, helping you out, I think that's called being an accomplice, or like aiding and abetting. That's aiding and abetting, whatever you're about to say. No thanks.
This is, I'm purely advocating for some education. You guys should all be behind that. I've noticed over the last couple of years that people don't walk on the right side of the sidewalk anymore. They just walk wherever the hell they want, and they don't worry about who they're walking into. Now they take the shortest path to get what they want.
The fucking millennials.
It's not just millennials, brother. It's everybody. It's everybody.
Boomer. Tell me what you do. Give me, like, do you say something? Do you kind of harumph as you walk past? Do you give side eye? Like, what's your reaction?
Well, no, I'm typically holding the door for somebody else, which is another thing that you should be doing too. Are
you a guy who, when you hold the door for somebody and they don't say thank you, do you mutter, "You're welcome"?
You're welcome.
I have done that before. Yes.
How did I know that? How did I know that?
But only when it's a younger person than me. And never if it's a lady.
So pretty much everybody. Yes.
And never if it's a lady.
Oh, okay.
We've established the problem. So what's the solution? Just education? You're going to have somebody stationed at every sidewalk to slap people until they get it correct?
Right.
Or what is
these celebrities who seem to want to give their political opinion on everything, maybe we should have them do PSAs.
This is how you walk. I'm Brad Pitt. And this is how you walk.
It starts in the home. It starts in the home. You got to teach kids to walk properly.
This could be your mukbang.
Walking with Joe.
I mean, it's not a difficult concept. You can't get a driver's license if you drive on the wrong side of the road, unless you're British.
I was going to say, I beg to differ. I live in South Florida, and I see people doing all kinds of crazy shit.
Well, yeah, that's because they're from places that don't care.
Or
like
they're
New York or Puerto Rico.
Or Kansas.
Whoa, there goes that listenership. Yeah. All three of them. Bang, bang, bang. Jesus, we're dropping off like flies.
Yep.
Actually, you have a lot of New Englanders down there too, don't you?
You should get a GoPro.
Oh, there's 4. Keep going, Joe.
Get a GoPro, and then every time, like, activate it every time you're about to walk into a door. You know.
Well, I try not to walk into a door. I try and open it first.
Walk into an entryway.
I walk into columns, not doors.
That's his other pet peeve. People misspeaking.
So do you? So when this happens incorrectly within your little circle there, geographic circle, do you say something? Do you grunt? Do you harumph as Greg put?
Didn't I just ask the exact same question?
Yeah, but he didn't answer.
It's not my place to tell you how to live your life until you run into me. Then I'll say, watch out where you're going. Get on the right side of the sidewalk.
So it just annoys you in your head. You don't share the annoyance in the physical world outside of this is your first big opportunity to get that off your chest then, yes?
Well, unlike some people, I did teach my children to walk properly.
Well, didn't you walk into like a fucking...
I've tried to share that with my grandchildren too when I see them doing it the wrong way.
Didn't you walk into a column?
Didn't he just say that, Greg?
The column was on the wrong side of the sidewalk, though.
Yeah.
Oh, the column was so now they need to build correctly too. That's Joe's next fucking week.
Well, it was an old house. There's nothing you can do about it.
Were your eyes on the wrong side of the column?
No, but a couple inches lower, and I would have had one fewer eye.
Yeah. Oh, that would I think you could go with that pirate look.
The eye patch. Totally.
That is kind of ironic, though, right?
Pull it off.
A week after Joe told the story about walking into something, he wants to teach people how to walk correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that there are rules to be followed for everybody's safety.
Sir, we appreciate the concept, but we're not sure that you're the right one to...
My lack of skill in walking is not have anything to do with the idea that you're supposed to stay on one side or the other.
Now, Billy, when we go and visit Grandpa, don't forget. don't walk out. You know, you need to be center or right when you're leaving Grandpa's house.
Stay on that side of the sidewalk and stay off the lawn.
Let me tell you why the Chiefs are an underrated franchise. No, don't. Try that again, mister. Walk back. You walked on the left side of the carpet there.
You can see the footpaths on each side. Follow them.
That's right. And they're pointing in the direction you want to go.
Don't you know what a yield sign means? I mean, you're 5 now. You're going to be
Listen,
mama's boy all your life?
Have you ever seen a fat guy run over a little old lady?
No.
It's not pretty.
Where was
Eggs
that?
go flying everywhere.
So did Tim apologize when he ran into her?
Oh, dang.
You lose a few pounds and suddenly you're shaming everybody else that has a few extra. What the fuck, Greg?
That's your
That's your
nickname.
St.
It's
Lucie
going
effect.
good and you're looking sharp. But god damn, man, you don't have to make yourself feel better by ripping on another fat fuck.
Have you met me?
Well,
That's kind of what I do.
that is kind of his gig. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will see you in a minute.
Tim, now that you're back, I have a comment to make. Joe, can you just stand up briefly? So I came back. Yeah, okay. See that? Okay, you can sit back down now, Joe. Take a look at that. Okay, now sit back down, Joe. So when I came back to the screen before you were back, Joe, I thought you'd slumped over in your chair.
Oh god.
And we're like injured. And I was like, Joe!
I appreciate your concern.
But after
That is pretty freaky.
after a couple of Joe's, I was like, well, there's nothing I can do. We're miles away. So, it is what it is.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So welcome back, Bucker Nation. I guess you heard there was a bit of a scare there, but everyone's good. Swag keeps flexing in the mirror. I don't understand why. He just keeps showing us his bicep as he. And what happened to your studio, Swag?
Yeah, what happened to the curtain? Somebody need to take a shower?
What I call a studio, GK calls it.
I am the great Oz.
Right? We're trying to create the theater of the mind here. It's studio, right? So when our listeners think about he
had a guest over who needed to take a shower, so he had to put it back up.
It was needed in the west wing of the estate.
Yeah.
One of the kids forgot to wash the sheets, so you had to tear it down and use it.
He was overcome with passion after a mukbang video. He needed to clean up hastily.
Yeah, it's in the wash. Yeah, I didn't have a sock handy.
That's his version of the McLovin mitt or whatever you.
Yeah,
that's right.
The lovin' mitt.
It's just a curtain. That way you don't have to aim.
Tim, is that like something you're going to get at McDonald's? The McLovin mitt?
I hope not. Oh my god. In a sanitary package.
It's back, along with the McRib.
Yeah. They're both messy as fuck.
Shamrock shakes and McLovin mix.
If you're a new listener, you just have to dance back to our previous episode. This will all make it'll make some sort of sense.
Yeah,
it'll be tied together. Still wouldn't make any sense.
But what doesn't make sense is the craziness of the texts that you shared with us over the week, Swag. Like, what is going on? And have you gone on a date with this person? And if so, might be an interesting story.
I have not gone on a date yet, but yes, I may have found my soulmate. So you guys know I'm on some of these dating apps, right? And this particular one, actually, I have some of them that are kind of set a little geared towards some directions than others, as we've talked about.
Oh.
And
is it a squirrel finder app?
For instance, Tinder, for instance, there's not a whole lot of fluff in there. I don't talk about romance or dinner dates or anything. It's kind of just more geared towards the sexual end of things per se. So this particular app is not. This one does have some of the fluff and a little bit more of the true, the complete me, the romance, so on and so forth. So
complete. Yeah.
We see it all the time. So yeah, okay.
That's how I fell in love with you.
So, and in fact, there's a specific piece to my profile that I put in there on purpose, and it's been my hopes is that that's what sparks a conversation. Like that's where I want it to start. and it's pretty simple. Basically, I don't mind sharing it. Basically, it's relationship goals, Jim and Pam. It's in there for a couple reasons, right? First of all, I want them to get it.
I'm missing the reference. Is that part of it? Like,
so that's good. So then you wouldn't work, right? That's part of it.
So
is I want you to get the reference,
okay.
right, which is good.
Okay,
because you are already filtered out for a couple other reasons. But
is it Jim Morrison and Pamela Corson?
No, but that's cool, actually.
Is it? Oh, wait. Is it Jim Neighbors in that cooking spray pan?
No. It's so it refers to Jim and Pam from The Office, the show The Office. The characters Jim and Pam.
Okay, all right.
I still don't get it.
Again, well, it's
a
shocker.
TV show. Joe, TVs are
the British version or the American version?
Oh, Joe.
The American version, Joe.
Okay, I haven't seen it, so it doesn't help.
That's a shock.
Just kind of setting the stage here. So, point being that, like I said, that little soft, romantic type stuff, right? So,
oh God,
that is what caught her attention. That is how she started the talking to me. She messages first and brings that up. So we talk a little bit about that. I say that's cool because. Again, first of all, I want you to get the reference because I want you to be able to get the comedy at least to the level of The Office. As you guys know, I go a little further than that sometimes. If you can't handle that, you can't handle me. It's not.
You're baiting the hook with the right worm.
Yeah, and it's true. I feel like that is the perfect relationship. I fucking love them too. They're fucking adorable.
Okay,
those two.
So yeah, right. So it's a sweet, adorable couple.
Yeah. Yep.
And then. How many texts later are you talking about, like, donkey punching her?
So we start off with that conversation, and it gets into again, relationships, and we both been through relationships, and we don't plan on settling, and so on and so forth. We talk about all that kind of stuff, where we'd like to live. It just so happens it's the same place, and little by little these things, all these little connections.
Jacksonville?
No, it is definitely not Jacksonville. No.
I was just going to say, where would you like to live?
Tennessee. Anyway, so, and then we had your normal, what are your favorite bands? What are your favorite shows? That type of, conversation. So again, very, very standard. Then it slowly starts to,
What local wild animal do you find sexiest?
Right. That kind of stuff. I don't start with that. Usually. Tim, you had something?
Actually, I like Greg's better. I was just
okay.
I've known you for decades, and I never knew that Tennessee, the volunteer state, was your
it wasn't for decades. It's become
it's a cool state.
Yeah, it's slowly become right as I continue to build this hermit life that I've constructed to where I don't have to deal with people on a regular basis. I started to realize that it's just far enough from everywhere, but close enough.
But it's close to everywhere. Yeah,
right.
It is well located.
It's not freezing and it's not sweltering like South Florida.
No state taxes. State taxes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's nice country. Yeah. And it's cheap.
Is, yeah.
Yep. So anyway, like I said, normal conversation from there. Favorite bands, favorite this, favorite shows. And then a little bit of a jump. She says that, this will tell me a little bit more about your attraction to women and sexuality. Who's your top celebrity crush? But then she takes a step further and says, who would you give your right arm for just one night? Those might be two different answers, right?
Patrick Stewart. That's what you said, right?
It was not Patrick Stewart. For those of you keeping track, the answer was Mila Kunis. But so then the next question was, would you rather have a woman in charge of you? Would you rather take charge?
I'd say 1980s version Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, good call.
Guys, you two? Yeah. Anybody top of mind for the two of you while we're there? Yeah. Greg? Joe?
Not me.
No, of course not. Joe?
Eleanor Roosevelt's pretty hot.
That's where I thought we'd go with that. All right, so
one of Joe's contemporaries.
Plus, I'm sure Franklin's not doing too well in the bedroom.
So the next question was whether I'd like to take charge or have a woman take charge in the bedroom. So we've taken like another little step there, right? So I answered that one.
What'd you answer?
Yeah, again, that I tend to keep options open when it comes to the bedroom. In my experience, I've enjoyed very much both. But generally, I'd like to say myself more so.
Okay.
That's the answer. So then that kind of opens up, right? I have, as you guys know, I believe, some unconventional relationship stories and sexual escapades and such. So, again, I'm a pretty honest guy. I honestly like to get a lot of that stuff out there fairly quickly, and it does end a lot of my conversations very early. It's but I'd rather just do it and get it out there. Again, if you're not the person that, if you can't deal with who I am, then I don't want to waste anyone's time, right? So I kind of take that opportunity to just point out that, that some of these questions are kind of vanilla to me, right? That I've kind of been a little unconventional along the way anyway. So we get into that. She says she wants to know. I explain. So I do explain my whole, past relationships and some of the, you guys again know the polyamorous situations I've been in and such. So again, usually I expect this to this is where it could either drop off. They just stop texting. They're like, you're a fucking weirdo, whatever.
This leads to that hermit lifestyle you were talking about, right? Like this is
yeah.
I think they call that solitary confinement.
So turns out that wasn't my stories weren't weird or scary to her in any way, which was a little weird to me, right? So then I'm like, well, okay, they're supposed to be like they usually are. So that means like, are yours a little weirder or scarier?
It's because she's a dude in Latvia.
So anyway, we go a little bit further.
As long as she gets your social security number and credit card number, she's gonna go along with that.
So now I've opened it up a little bit, obviously. So now the next questions are, I'm going to ask you something else and just say if it's too far.
Oh boy.
You won't hurt my feelings. And I'm like, oh shit. All right. Now what? Right. How many times do you masturbate in 1 week on average?
Oh,
so she didn't want an exact number. She did put in on average afterwards, which made it a little more comforting. So
nor do I.
So we, one more. So I answered that question to her satisfaction.
No.
And so I got one more and we can move on.
What's a satisfying answer to this girl for that question? I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
I don't. Yeah.
You kind of want to know, but you really don't want to know.
No.
Right. More than four. I'll tell you that.
No, I definitely don't want to know.
He's got a whole drawer of McLovin mitts.
You should see my sock. Stands up by itself.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we got one.
Jack, is that an old cast from? No, it's my sock.
The crazy part is I didn't even think of socks until 3 weeks ago when Joe told me about it.
It's a life changer.
Oh, God.
One more and we can move on, she says. Top keyword search when browsing porn. Now, again, this is fucking, 6 hours into maybe 5-6 hours into texting back and forth when,
yeah.
It was, I like Pink Floyd and this is, True Romance is my favorite movie a little bit ago. So,
and yet your browser history comes up yet again. This seems to be a theme
right
here. Yeah.
So
right?
That answer I would be willing to hear.
So she said no worries though if the answer is no comment. So she allows me to come off the hook for it, right?
Well, what is it?
I said much like music, this can change from time to time, mood, etc. Obviously, you know what I mean.
You're a man of many moods.
I am, and now that I had to think about it, it wasn't a slam dunk. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, it's obviously this. Like I really do, kind of bounce around a little bit, right? Sometimes, yeah. So,
and you said mukbang.
I did not say mukbang. I wanted to.
Squirrel.
I cannot get over I still am stuck on the fact that Greg is broadcasting from his girlfriend's living room.
Right.
And she has no idea what's going on in the the headphones.
Trust me, when he said he was broadcasting from there, I had all kinds of shit run through my head. I wanted to call him and just warn him, but I'm sorry, Greg. It was already put together, buddy.
It's okay. Well, what's the answer?
All in all, right. If I had to, I would say honestly, probably threesomes. Threesomes is probably my my top. Shockingly again, probably my top search. Again, there's many in there, some of which I wouldn't share.
What's number 2? Because that's not that fun. What's number 2?
Number 2,
Department store dressing room.
You know what? Yeah, no, actually, yeah, the girls that get caught stealing. That's a good one. They get caught stealing and they bring them in the back. That's not bad, actually. I like that one. Movie theaters with multiple couples as well that end up into a big crazy orgy. That's a good one too. So. So anyway, so we have that conversation for a little bit, and then I decide at this point, I kind of, and I don't know if I've shared this, but I have shared obviously that a lot of my relationships have started out sexually in the past, and I'm like, well, again, I'm kind of fearful to get back into that. I've taken my time this time. I'm okay with being single. I want to make sure, that I get along with this person. Obviously, I want to have sex with them too, but I want to make sure that I get along with them. So I take a step back. I said, backing up a step. Favorite movie?
Debbie Does Dallas.
So we do, and True Romance. I think I mentioned that's one of mine. You guys are familiar with that show. So at this point,
Quentin Tarantino wrote it. Oliver Stone directed it.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Oh God, Joe.
Yeah, Joe. Anyway. So, but at this point, like I said, she really does seem like in that movie, as you guys know, she, spoiler, Joe, Arquette plays a hooker and his friends set him up with her, and she just happens to be into karate movies and comic books and what I mean, all the shit and then he finds out.
No wonder I didn't see it
later on that it was all set up, obviously, but they do end up. Well, that's kind of how I'm feeling now. I'm like, every time she's just answering every question correctly. Like I said, we want to retire in the same place. We watch the same shows. We have the same quotes. We this that. It's really, there's this weird connection is happening, and then there's the sexual thing. Like I said, up until now, again, I'm the weird one because I present this this weird sexual situation, and all of a sudden she's asking me these, from here she decides she wants to talk on the phone. And so we do. This is all still the first day. This is hours in. So we talk on the phone, and in that phone conversation, she now shares with me that the reason that my story wasn't all that weird is because the last relationship she was in was with a couple, and the one prior to that. Oh. So she was actually the third part of the same type of relationship I had been in.
Wow.
So again, now I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking weird. So now I really am thinking, cool? Did Greg set this up? Like, did he but even you don't know all of these things. So
I have a feeling you're going to end up tied up in a basement in Tennessee somewhere.
Would that
so
not in an enjoyable way.
I was going to say he would like that.
So yeah, at this point, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is my soulmate, right? This is like this is so we
some other lucky lady out there is going to be. Yeah,
who's the right. So we talk again. We go through that a little bit, and we talk obviously sexual talk, but nothing again over the top per se. Anyway, we hang up, we go about our lives for a little bit. We connect again on text a little later, and this is where things kind of jump. So obviously we've laid the groundwork for them. So it's not a shocking jump. We didn't go from I like Pink Floyd to here. We've taken steps, as you can see. The text I get is, I just want you to know I masturbated earlier today because we were talking about sex. Okay. I think I was doing the dishes at that point. And then I get
like doing them, you mean?
Yeah, like no, not doing them. So The next text is the one that you guys have referred to, I believe.
Yeah. Yes.
How do you feel about the tougher sides of sex, spanking, hair pulling, excuse my language, but
Oh God, not Jesus.
Well, so
Christ.
first and foremost, immediately this fucking show has ruined things for me because that was supposed to be completely sexual and it wasn't. I immediately thought of the Mondays and Martha and
Yeah. I was gonna say. Did you say?
God.
Did you tell her I'm in a fantasy baseball league with a bunch of guys, and we all talk about that. Even one of the guys' moms.
But then after that, I thought about it for a moment, and again, is this my soulmate? Right? Like I'm like, okay, like
yeah, right.
So, of course, I answered, I'm a fan. Oddly, she answered, I'm assuming you doing these things, and I said, well, yes, I haven't really been on the receiving end too much.
Too much. Not at all.
Way to leave it open.
Not at all.
I like to leave things open. You know, there's a lot of drugs in my past. I can't account for every single moment of every single day. So you never know.
Oh, I think you'd remember that.
So then it gets to, and I'm gonna cut it off here soon. Anything harder. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. As you know, I have some experience. I have been through some stuff. I believe that I have, more sexual knowledge, escapade, so on and so forth, than the average folk. Harder than what? Like, what the fuck is harder? Like, we're already talking about choking and slapping and fucking throwing. What is harder than that? I'm sorry, Tim. So
is she an NXS fan?
Right, exactly. Then,
just to be clear, it was not autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, okay.
Like he actually seriously just killed himself.
Oh well, that's not as fun.
Well, thanks for sucking the fun out of that joke.
Well, I don't even know if there's fun of that joke too. That's like, come on, man. Like, it's so weird. That's just. Anyway.
All right.
Go ahead. All right. Yeah.
Mother hen.
Anyway. So
when are you meeting this girl?
We then get it goes from there into explanation on what harder and such may mean and how much each of us enjoy, so on and so forth. So so that's so we're going to be meeting up here soon.
When?
This week actually coming up. So definitely before the next podcast. Absolutely.
She live close by?
Close enough. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Definitely after those texts. Yeah. She could,
just be careful. But listen, if you get to her place and Chris Hansen walks out.
Yeah.
Run.
That's bad, right? Yeah. Yep. No, she's,
who's Chris Hansen?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Joe.
Dateline NBC.
Somebody get this guy a fucking TV.
It's because I don't spend my life watching TV. I'm out doing things and living a life.
You're out assessing the locals' walking. B minus. Joe just yells out grades as he walks in the doorway. B minus.
Everyone's doing things is relative, I guess.
At least I'm not doing squirrels.
That guy shouted at me. B plus. What does that mean?
So I'm excited. Obviously, like I said,
Good,
it's tough for me to find somebody that seems to hit on all cylinders, and so far we'll see. Obviously, we all know from these dating apps that many things can happen between the first text and the first meeting, but. We'll see. I'm sure I'll be able to follow up at some point with some more information.
Well, gents, I got to roll. Right? So you guys are good?
So before you go, we did have Turdnab the Magnificent did interact with us on Facebook, and basically he was talking about a hangover cure and was interested in what we do for hangovers. So he had a UK version I don't know. Turdnab the Magnificent is a world traveler, is all around the world.
I think it involved Adderall.
And then this is a direct quote from Turdnab the Magnificent. This is probably a great example of just Bacher Nation and the listeners we have out there. Okay, I quit fucking around and I took 10 milligrams of Adderall and 4 more Advil, and now I'm good. My college-age kid who was home for Thanksgiving saw the move and commented, "Yeah, Dad, all good days start with Adderall." Which that sounds like an ad campaign to me if I ever heard one. Turdnab's response was, "Glad they're teaching him something for all that money." So we know what the Turdnab clan uses to clean up. I mean, for me, it's a little BC powder and McDonald's. That's my hangover cure.
McDonald's is good. For me, literally, I rarely have the presence of mind to do this. But honestly, if I drink a big glass of water and like eat a slice of bread before I go to sleep, when I wake up, I feel much better. But if I forget to do that, then like an Egg McMuffin and a Diet Coke, that's my jam.
There you go, right? And it's either going to settle your stomach or it's going to clean whatever's in your stomach.
It always makes me feel good. Yeah.
I don't know how I figured this out, but I've always felt better after a hot, open-face roast beef sandwich, mashed potatoes, and a large-ass iced tea.
But how do you hook that up when you're hungover?
Hey, you go to a restaurant.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying it works, man.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, sure.
On the rare occasion that you can pull all that together.
Yeah.
Yes. So do you have like a lo-fi, just kind of like a shit, I live
SpaghettiOs right out of the
can. Cold.
Joe.
Swag needs a feast. Greg and I just hit the local Mickey D's, and BC powder is like an aspirin powder, which I think works great. Slam
like
it with
goodies.
Diet Coke.
Yeah, goodies.
Yep. Powder, same thing. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that would work well.
I'd be interested in J-Lo's cure.
He punches somebody in a parking lot.
I don't really get hangovers.
Day drinking.
That's
he just continues to drink, and then it just never happens. There's no.
I guess I don't drink enough.
You do. No. Yeah, you do for sure.
No, but the truth is, he doesn't know what a hangover is. He thinks he comes down with bubonic plague. Coincidentally.
The day after drinking.
And then it passes. Well, it has nothing to do with drinking. I just came down with a touch of the plague, but then it passed.
Again. Yep. That's it.
I read this book about...
I guess I'm just lucky.
1547. There was a lot of that going around.
Well, I really appreciate the Magnificent's contributions to the show, so thank you. Greg, it was fantastic. Thanks for making this possible.
Later,
please let your lovely lady know that we really appreciate her giving up an hour and a half for you to talk about squirrel fucking and a number of other things that are extremely important to Bacher Nation. We really appreciate it.
Apologize for me. I know I'm going to be her least favorite as soon as she starts listening.
No, it's fine. Let me know what you guys ultimately decide, or Tim, what you and Jack decide.
We'll loop you in on the decision.
Okay.
We'll make even let you be a part of it. I'm sure you're pro Bill.
Of course.
But we'll see. We'll ask him what his hangover cure is. Okay. Bye.
I would like to apologize in advance to Bill.
As well you should.
For the fact that this is the actual show where his interview is going to be placed. So
yeah, so as we welcome the listeners back in, and they've already heard 2 segments, and J-Lo and I were trying to prep Bill for the disclaimer that I'm going to put at the head of the podcast to make sure little kids aren't listening to this, because
appreciate that.
So Bill, have you listened? Have you heard the show at all in the past? Yeah,
I have. I've heard a couple. Yes.
Well, Jack, if you showed up on time, you'd already know the answer to that question.
Go fuck yourself, Joe. So this particular episode is going to be worse than anything that you've heard. So again, our apologies in advance. This is just where where you happen to time wise and in the schedule. So
isn't it kind of ironic that, in the podcast that, Greg finally gets into a healthy, loving relationship and is podcasting from his girlfriend's home is the one that we are really like, holy shit, I think we stepped over the line here. Like, what does that say?
There's no think.
Seriously though, for those of you who, and I'm guessing Joe isn't one of them, that have seen Stranger Things, this whole thing is starting to really not only has Greg now found his somebody that he wants to spend time with and broken the chain, but he did it in Port St. Lucie, which is ground zero. It's the never, it's all really starting to scare me a little bit, the way this is all coming together.
It is truly very, very strange. Very strange. Yes. So, I mean, this is, I guess we're going to call this segment, it's a whole forced fantasy segment. So maybe we should get to it. And let me introduce to Balked Nation. This is a potential owner. We'll call him Billy D. I don't know. Do you have any nicknames that you particularly like to go by?
If you do, I would get it out there before we make one up for you.
Well, you just did. That's about it. Billy D is the one that hits home. That's usually
I like it.
Usually what everybody calls me.
Okay, so Billy D. That sounds like a challenge for us to find a better one, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you definitely. I'm counting on it, actually.
So
it makes me want to do Colt 45 commercials.
Billy D.
What we're doing right now is getting to know you and to see, hey, is this going to work for you? Is it going to work for us?
Right.
And because this is the final franchise. This is the what's it called, Joe? A keystone? Is that what the last stone that goes in?
Penultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No pressure. And
with that in mind,
actually, the penultimate is the one before the last one.
Oh, Jesus, Joe.
Oh.
All right.
So right. Keystone is a better way of putting it.
3, 2, 1. No.
Just make sure you're walking correctly.
That's going to be Joe's question. I realized recently when I was talking to my son, who is, got into fantasy sports in general, not a huge baseball guy. So I started, kind of explaining the spot to him and what all is expected and what level we play at and to what depth and so on and so forth. And I realized in presenting it to him that it's not incredibly attractive. So you really the main thing is we want to make sure that that this is long-term, permanent, and you're definitely going to take your lumps for a little bit getting in.
When we to the point with 12 teams, your perception of how long it's going to take may be a little bit skewed, because I think it's somebody that's got the right mindset. It's going to be easier to build faster now.
Well, and for the first time, we're expanding within our new divisional realignment. So explaining that to him will, that gives him and everybody else that doesn't make the playoffs this year, more benefit, more chance next year, right? Because of the way we switch our divisions around.
Right.
All I can say is I am certainly not worthy. That's for sure. But, for me... you
haven't heard this episode yet, Bill.
I can't wait to hear the rest of it. But, certainly it's outstanding. I know you guys are incredibly serious, which makes it even more fascinating. And quite honestly, if I hadn't retired, I wouldn't be able to do it justice. But now that I've done that, I've got the time to actually spend some time, it's
there you go.
It would be outstanding. Yeah, because I just love the game. Love the game of baseball, and we have to bring it back and get it back to nations pastime.
So tell us a little about yourself. So you're, obviously devilishly handsome guy from New England, as we all
Most
are.
Definitely. Yeah, of course.
So you grew up as a Sox fan.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite player? What was the hook that got you into baseball? Obviously, it's Red Sox related, or maybe it wasn't, but I'm assuming it was.
It was.
Given the indoctrination that we go through in New England.
Yeah, I mean, I actually remember Ted Williams playing, so.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
That certainly dates me. And, growing up, it's funny that in my early years, we used to, go to Radio Shack and buy a kit and put a little crystal radio together, ground it to the old radiator so you could listen to the Red Sox games. That was my indoctrination into baseball.
Holy shit!
Already,
Joe's got a partner.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like Bill, let me ask you a question. Sure. What are your thoughts on the way people walk on sidewalk? No, I'm sorry. Just go.
That'll make more sense after you listen to the episode.
Okay. TV 38 came into existence, and we all put our rotary antennas on the roofs, and we could actually watch the games. So.
It's as if we're interviewing Joe. This is really crazy, right?
Seriously, yeah.
I'm having an out-of-body experience.
Right, with a legitimate accent. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I certainly owe it all to Dad. He was a phenomenal sports fan, and definitely, like me, baseball was number one. My mom and Dad were married for 69 years. Dad just passed a couple of months ago. That's why I'm up here. And just they never, ever, ever missed watching a game on TV. Not once. And
wow,
I'm here with Mom, and she still watches every single game, every Patriots game, every Celtics game. So growing up in that kind of a house, that's what started it early. And I just kept the tradition, kept it up with my boys as well. So they're the same. But, it's and we spent a lot of lean years. I had season tickets to the Pats when Schaefer Stadium with the aluminum benches, and horrible team. So we've, I tell my boys.
Could you say that
horrible?
Horrible.
Horrible. It was.
Oh my God!
You know what? I could just hang up now. And Bill could do both parts.
Yeah, Joe is definitely voting you in, Billy.
I like it. He's a keeper,
sure.
Just for the hat alone.
It's just I tell my kids it's not fair. You guys, you don't know what losing is, so they're spoiled.
Oh my God!
Which I love it.
I say the same thing to my oldest. The same exact thing. Like, you have no idea. And watching the Patriots this year, especially the second part of the season, it's very familiar to me. He does not understand.
Yeah, he's confused as fuck. Right.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is every other football team in the NFL for the last 20 years, dude. Like, this is.
Have you played fantasy baseball before, like at all?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Not in the last 5 years, but definitely have, yes.
So yeah, again, like I said, our scoring system's pretty basic. I mean, you don't have to be a fucking genius to everything has a value. A double is worth twice what a single is worth, and for the most part, it's not too difficult. But again, you want to know the difference between a good ball player and a good fantasy ball player for your own benefit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, were we just bothering you so much you had to bring us back to scoring? Was that?
Yeah.
Is that what the fuck it was?
Yes. I was
Jesus
just
Christ.
tired of hearing about fucking. There's a goal here for the conversation, and it's not to reminisce about fucking 3 weeks ago when your team was the best on the fucking planet. It's we're supposed to be figuring out whether or not this guy's going to be a good fit, right?
Like Billy D. Williams, when he's already got us swooning, like we're just like, oh, you're in, dude. Like,
exactly.
Like, finally, someone else talking about.
You guys are like, have you ever touched Belichick's sweatshirt?
Only twice.
Only twice.
Only twice.
Only twice. That's two more than me. That's so here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be an opportunity where you'll see a trade opportunity come from Greg, and you may know something about the players he's offering, and this could be a sweetheart deal, and he ends up getting screwed in the deal, but he's offering it to you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Do you take the deal? Do you tell him, hey man, did you know about this and this or that and that? What's your approach in that situation?
I love him dearly, but sports is sports.
All right, so there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a good answer. That's a good answer for sure.
So Bill, I just want you to know something, because I just feel responsible to tell you that question had nothing to do with this interview and everything to do with Tim's preparation and working you as soon as you come into the league. So he's actually taking notes onto how he's going to approach you once he approves your movement into the league.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Whether that's true or not, right? I'm not the only one on this call that's doing that right now. So we're trying to. But see, it's a weird thing, right? Because we don't want a patsy, right? We don't want someone that's going to come in and just not compete.
Right.
On the other hand, right, that we want someone who is going to challenge us. And, I think the Dreamers, this is a team that is co-managed by a couple of cousins, Eldon and Dusty. Mm-hmm. And they have done an excellent job. They work, not only do they work the trading well, they also work the podcast well, and it's made it a lot more fun. And they've actually become kind of the Yankees of the league, to tell you the truth.
I think that's you.
No, it's not the Yankees. You see my record last year? I mean, I didn't even make the playoffs.
Better than mine.
Nobody, Bill, again, just so it's clear, nobody in this league has won more than 2 championships except Tim, and Tim has 5. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
But like the Patriots and the Red Sox, I'm on the downswing now. There's a lot rebuilding.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry, you were going to say something, Bill?
If Tim's won 5, he must be incredibly good at politics. That's the working behind the scenes, and
you have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's so basically.
Let me ask you a question, Bill. At this moment, you don't find him intimidating, or you're not, right? He's very
not at all.
Right, that's part of that. Right, there you go. There's politics for you. He's
so it works.
Plotting your fucking demise as he speaks to you right now.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. He's that good.
I've sat at the foot of Jack, who brought me into fantasy baseball, and just followed his lead as we've gone along. So that's I take his principles, put him into play.
Oh God, you two get a room.
It's true.
Oh, by the way, that's the worst part of it. Is Joe is the real mastermind behind all of this fucking craziness. So,
oh yeah, yeah, because I've won so often.
He's a fan favorite. We continually get fan mail for Joe in particular. Mm-hmm. Nobody else. We get maybe a comment here or there, but everybody has to let us know how Joe is the best. Joe's the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Bill, any last?
I even though he is very close to being Joe, I love the guy.
I think that's pretty evident. We all do.
I agree.
Well, Billy D, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It really has. Great to meet everyone.
Great to meet you too.
And hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you later.
Watch
Bye-bye.
for the smoke.
Yeah. Can see it from here.
Be good, Bill.
What do you think?
I like him. I think he'll fit in.
I do too. I really do think there's a chance he will be a little offended after he listens to the episode, but as long as he can get through that, then absolutely.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about for the league.
Yeah, he has, it seems like he's going to take some lumps, right? He's not quite as advanced as you want to say pseudo scout. Chances are pseudo scout's going to beat him to the punch on a couple of draft picks, right? I mean that
Right.
you can kind of see that, but he seems pretty comfortable with that. It seems like he is set to enjoy the build up and the path that he knows he's going to take, which is probably going to be a slow one, but he knows that, and he's not coming in saying I want to win this league. He's excited to learn about drafting the minors, and my money's on Justin for the first championship out of the two, but I think he will enjoy it, and I think he attitude wise, so on and so forth, I think he'll fit enough as long as he can handle this episode.
He's retired. He's got plenty of time, so he's going to be able to invest the time.
Sounds like commissioner material to me.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a positive right there. I like it.
Let's start the slow play now.
Doesn't really drink. Is retired.
That's right.
Fucking beautiful.
We can get him
hand the keys tomorrow.
Get him.
It's funny.
Welcome to the league. Here you go. All right, I'm out of here, fellas. Be good.
Okay.
All right.
Talk to you later.
You guys take it easy.